Hey everyone, your designers are here.
I'm Anita at Cedral Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home. And we have tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today. So let's get started.
Today is episode 210, Why You Should Rearrange Furniture.
And the show notes for today's episode can be found at decoratingtipsandtricks.com/210.
Are you a furniture rearranger? I often will say, I'm getting really tired of this room and I'd like a little bit of a change, or I think there's a better way to do something. And then, Bobby comes home and I say, Bobby, can you help me move this big bureau or buffet or something like that? And he gives me that raised eyebrow look like, well, and here's a stock line. If I help you rearrange it, then it has to stay there. And then my stock line is, well, I don't know if I can live with it. And he knows if I can't live with it, he probably can't live with me,
Yeah. I think that's just wasted breath, Bobby. Just do it.
And he does.
Well, it's interesting. I do move things around, but I don't change. I'm trying to think how to say this. I have a certain place that chairs go in a particular room. Now, I might switch one chair from one room to another, but it always kind of goes in the same spot because I did spend a lot of time before we moved in figuring out the best placement of the sofa, the best placement of different things in most rooms of the house. And I kind of have stuck with that. But yeah, a lot of times I buy one chair and I put it in one room, but the chair in room A goes to B and the room that was in B goes to C, and it's kind of, I call it, musical chairs. And then you get something new in every room of the house. It's kind of fun.
No, I'm into moving. I have moved like positions of sofas and in every single room I can think of in the life of our house, every single big ticket thing, except probably the buffet in the dining room, not the buffet bar that's in the family room. That just needs to be there. But yeah, I used to have two sofas. They were totally in different spots, and my one sofa is now in the living room. I had a different area that I put my sofa in the family room, and we just totally redid our bedroom. And I am so non-feng shui. And I know you're going to talk about this a little bit, Kelly, but because I think that when you open the door, you should be able to see your bed. You can't see our bed. You open the door and it's behind the door. But the layout of our bedroom is sort of funky anyway, because we have a sitting room off of it. But it was so funny. Like my kids when they come home for the weekend, they usually come home late at night, put the babies down, and then they'll come into our bedroom because it's, they live in DC, so they don't start out till like 8:00 at night because of traffic to get home. And so we're probably already in bed, and they open the door and they didn't know where we are. Like, what? Where are you? Because we're behind the door. But, all four of my kids have said, oh, we really like it this way. Which is surprising because Bob kept saying, Yvonne, this is not the best wall for it. Let's put it over the non-feng shui wall. And I was saying, Bob, this is just not right. You should always look upon your bed. And I said, okay, we'll try it. But if I don't like it, you'll have to rearrange everything back how it was. And bless his heart, he did it, and he moved everything, and he was right. So I had the bed where it was between two windows at one time and it looked too heavy. So I'm not always, but in a year, I've probably rearranged a couple rooms in my house.
Well, hey, look, it's the easiest cost-free way to give your whole home a new look, or at least a room in your home, a whole new look. Try it, even if you did spend a lot of time thinking about it initially. Maybe it's been sitting there for 10 years. Shake it up, move it around. If you don't like it, just ask Bobby to move it back. It's not a problem.
And now they have these great big coasters for the bottom. Have you ever used those? They are so...
I haven't, but I'll just put like a dish towel under, but the posters are probably a good way to do it.
Well, because they have a little lip, like the leg of something won't come out. And I've moved
the dish
chairs
rag
like no problem. It doesn't slide out. Yeah. I can do that like no problem at all. But sometimes if you have like an area rug, you have to lift it up over. Then it becomes, it's not a one person deal.
Right. No, I think it's a great idea. I do it often. And I'm still getting truly settled in my house. There are pieces coming in and some things had to be in certain places because another room was being renovated. So we are still in that mode where I'm kind of finding the best places. I mean, I do agree with Anita that I did, and I'm sure Yvonne did too. You give it a lot of thought initially as to where something's going to go. But hey, thoughts change, life changes, your decor changes, your family changes. Somebody comes and goes from college or a new baby's born or something like that. So new things, new arrangements may help, and you may not need to buy new things then. Maybe you just take something from another room that's not really doing anything or functioning well and bring it into another room. Don't be afraid to change it up.
Maybe you just take something out of the room and you don't put anything back. I know, it's radical.
Well, we talked about over decorating in our last episode, so that's probably very good advice, Anita.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And other things are other reasons are pretty valid for just moving things around. How about sun damage on some of your fabrics? If you have a living room where you can move your sofa around and it's been in front of the window for a while, maybe you want to move it away if you're concerned that it might be fading or chairs may be fading. You move them around a little, give them a little break from the sun, put them in the shade for a little while, move them to the other side of the room. And even if you just move things around occasionally, it's great for cleaning. Like you really, I'm a little clean phobic or into cleaning.
I noticed.
I like to have very clean baseboards, even if I can't see them. Pull it away and try it while it's out. Try in a different spot, and while it's out, get back there and clean that baseboard and vacuum it up and wipe it down. And
that's right.
And even if you end up putting it back in the same spot, you're going to feel better about it. I know I do.
I think there's just such a big psychological boost you can get from rearranging some furniture. And I'll go back to the bedroom. It was like we were sleeping in a new room. It just looked so nice.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep it really pretty because it just was so, it was just like a breath of fresh air.
I think you're right. It's amazing how just changing something up in the room makes it feel so fresh. And often it doesn't require buying anything. Just moving things around gives a room a fresh feel. And especially if it's something big like, a chair or
a bed. I'm really trying to think is there a piece of furniture I haven't moved? And there is. My dining room table and no, truly. Yeah. But I mean, I've always had a table in that same spot.
I wonder what she's going to be doing this afternoon.
No, seriously. And I think my breakfast area, I've not moved that table because it's under a chandelier.
I mean, dining space is obviously. The table needs to be in the center. So I
think there might be a bed. We have 5 bedrooms and 5 baths. Nobody needs 5 bathrooms, believe me. But we have a room. We call it the guest suite. And it has its own bathroom. And there's really only one good wall for a bed. And that's all that's ever been there. But I'm seriously trying to think of other things. And I think I've moved everything at least once.
And we will link to these in the show notes. But if you do not have a set of sliders, furniture sliders, you need these things. They are revolutionary. Anytime I'm moving furniture and I say, hey, can anyone help me? It's like before I finish the sentence, the room clears. So no one's ever around to help me move anything, but that's okay. I have my secret weapon, the sliders. You can get one kind for a carpet. If you have carpet flooring, you use one type of slider that's plastic on the bottom. If you have hardwoods, then there's some that have felt on the bottom.
Right.
So you got to get a set of these. They come in like a set of 4 or 8 or whatever.
Yeah, we'll put them in the show notes.
But these are very important when you're moving furniture around.
They are important. You are so right about that. Except if you have to go from hardwood to like
carpet,
but even like almost like a big throw rug. That's a little harder for me, and that's where I need.
I kind of have a set on the one kind of floor, and then the other set kind of move them. Oh, I've spent many an hour doing this. So,
or if you're in a pinch, you use the dish towels like Kelly does.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because don't you also use them to do a dance and clean your floor with too?
Which, if you move the thing around a lot, you actually can clean your floor at the same time.
And while you're dancing, turn on some music.
And then you're getting an arm workout because you're pushing a cement table back and forth across your room.
No, I'll never move that. I should never say never in this house.
On Edith and...
Emmett and Edith should have little socks
thank
on.
You. Oh.
Okay, not to get all, California and woohoo on you, but picking up on something you said before about just like somehow, why do you feel better? What is it about it? Well, I read this article when we were getting ready for this episode. And while it was about moving your furniture, it was on a site that's more about mental health and therapies. And I just, was Googling about moving your furniture, and this came up, and I thought, well, this is going to be interesting. Let me see how this correlates. Well, they say that movement-based creativity makes people feel better. So when you think about it, moving your furniture and your mind is thinking creatively, how are you going to use this in this other spot? So, and you're moving, and the physicality of the moving and the fact that you're being creative with that movement really ends up making you feel better. They did some sort of focus group, and they had these people move stuff around in these rooms, and they markedly felt better. Like whatever they
rooms or ugly rooms. That's what I don't know.
What it must be all interior designers. It certainly was not my husband.
That no, but like you're not going to.
Some people, our husbands were like, "Get me out of here."
He wouldn't do it unless it made him feel better, and maybe it makes him feel better because he knows he makes you happy, and that's really why Bobby is here, right? Just like come on.
But I agree with that because when I move something around, it gets my creative juices flowing.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, you're doing it. And it's like, you're taking control of it and you're moving it. And so, on some sort of like, whoa, level, some mental level that you don't even really know is going. Because most people are not. So you think of movement-based creativity. Like most people are not going to just spontaneously break into an interpretive dance like in the middle of the day. But you could in the middle of the day just be like, heck, I'm going to move that sofa across the room, and you're going to feel the same way. This is what this article is saying, and I think it's true.
Why don't we have a listener challenge? Like, don't do it if you're in the car or anything. In the next couple of days, we want you to move at least one item around in your house, and then write to us and tell us how you feel. We're just going to do a very loose study on how you feel.
Well, now I will say I have read recently, not about the moving thing, but just 20 minutes or 30 minutes of a creative activity reduces your stress hormones. So it's interesting that you've added the movement thing.
Yeah, that's what it was all about, movement-based creativity.
And I can absolutely see that from like an interior design perspective because yes, the minute I move something, I have tons more ideas come to me about what to do. Much to maybe the chagrin of Bobby. It's maybe a stressful thing for him, but it's really good for me.
Right. Because that's the difference. Maybe he's not participating in the creative part of it. So for him, it's just schlepping the sofa.
And, to be honest with you, Bobby doesn't have to live in pretty.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health, potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order.
Well, and I remember when we were first married, we had this thing, speaking of high tolerance for something, we would take turns doing the dishes. Maybe it was like 1 week was Kevin's week and 1 week was my week.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed on his week, he would wait till the end of the week to do the dishes.
I don't think that's the way you envisioned that going down.
No. And so I
didn't catch that. What did he wait till?
He would wait till the end of the week to do his dishes.
Let them pile up.
I am not kidding. So, and of course,
then you get too tired of it and do them yourself.
I'm sure that was the plan. I think the plan was I'm going to break her. She is not, I'm not going to do
breaking this wild pony.
I'm sure that was the thought was, if I don't do them, let's see if Anita will step in and do them. And I was, we were both pretty, button the heads when we were first married. And I'm like, I am not doing those dishes if it's not my week. I don't care how much they pile up.
So
I'm like
funny.
walking over piles of dishes, ignoring them, walking past them. So somebody came to our house and I had forgotten it was Kevin's week.
Kevin's week. No one can come over during Kevin's week.
I know. It was a big
That is so cute.
I can't even talk. So there was a big stack of dirty dishes. And one of our friends was very much a very strict, neat-nick kind of person. Mm-hmm. And she looked at them and said, "Are those dirty dishes?"
Oh, my gosh.
To which I had to say, yes, they are. So anyway.
So how did the story end?
He finally broke me. I finally started doing them.
I'm so disappointed.
Well, in our house, I cook and Bobby cleans up. So yeah, I would be that way too, Nita. This is talking about breaking you. Like my husband, I think on our 14th anniversary is something my mother said, "Oh, you've come such a long way since you've married Yvonne." And he said,
"You lucky man."
She'll bend me, but she'll never break me. That's exactly what he said back to my mother. So that's what I'm thinking of, because he just has he's very much like Kevin. He could let things pile up, but that's a no-no in our house. Yeah.
Oh, how funny. Mm-hmm. Okay, so another reason you should rearrange your furniture is sometimes when we first put furniture in a room, you push it all against all the walls. So your furniture is kind of like hostage. They're all up against the wall. It doesn't have to be like that. You can, even if the rearrange maybe is just pull the sofa out, it could just be there with some space, or maybe you put in a very slim console table behind it or something like that. Then you could put a lamp on it. So think about not just moving from room to room, but just moving it, a little bit here, put it on an angle, just shake it up a little bit.
There are some times when you just absolutely can't do that. But whenever I can, I like to have a piece of furniture that is not like being held up. Like, this is a hold up. Everybody put your hands up against the wall.
Exactly.
And I like to have a piece of furniture that's like floating. And I think it just brings a lot of interest into the room. Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that when I'm thinking about like really doing hard labor, like really moving things around.
Yeah, hardcore moving. It doesn't have to even be hardcore moving. And here's another thing to consider. TVs have changed over the years in a short period of time when you really think about it. When they first came out, there were those giant boxes with those giant tubes and all that stuff. And then we segued into the giant flat screens. And then they really weren't that flat, but then they got really flat, but they were still really big. And now there's a lot of people in the world that don't even have a TV, have made that conscious choice. And there's a lot of people that have those big TVs, but maybe don't watch TV that way anymore. The way that we consume television has changed so much. Where you watch it, how you watch it, what you subscribe to, whether it's Amazon or Netflix or all of that. You can watch those on iPads, you can watch them on laptops. You're much more portable. So what if you have this TV that 10 years ago or 8 years ago you now designed your room around, but it's just this big black square or rectangle that no one even uses anymore.
The black hole. That's exactly right. Mm-hmm.
If you're not using it, rethink it. Maybe get rid of it. Certainly doesn't have to dictate the way you set up your room.
That is such an important concept, because if it just doesn't get used, it takes up so much space.
Right.
And so much visual decorative space.
Right. Maybe we'll have people over to watch the Super Bowl around it, but maybe every other night you're watching, Victoria or something on your laptop or your iPad, cozied up in your bed or on your comfortable chair. Maybe you're not even turning that big monstrosity on. If you are, great. And if your family's enjoying it and that's time well spent together, terrific. Or if you like to binge watch something on the big screen, go for it. Enjoy it. I'm not saying don't do it, but I think that there's a lot of people now, because we have so many different options for consuming that kind of viewing, that, maybe you're not using that. And it's really your TV is not the boss of you. You should be the boss.
You say it again. You are right.
Don't boss me, TV.
Exactly. I'll decorate and put my sofa right in front of you. Somebody mentioned a little feng shui before. I think Yvonne mentioned it. I'm not so into that. I know just a little bit about, probably enough about it to hurt myself, but not any. I would never say that I apply any strict feng shui rules. I don't even know any strict feng shui rules, but just the sense of decorating. It's the whole thing about that concept is that you're creating an environment that has the best energy to support what's going on in that room, right? So if you think about that with respect to how you're going to arrange or rearrange your furniture, I think that's just a good general place to start, where you can consider, well, what needs to go on in this room? What is the function here? And are the pieces that I have in here supporting that? As I mentioned with the television, if your pieces are your sofa, your chairs, your coffee table, all supporting the fact that you love to have Friday night family movies, and your TV is the central, and these pieces are supporting that, and so that can accommodate your family and their friends and all that kind of stuff, then that's great. But if what's going on in that room doesn't support what goes on there, you like to bring a book in there and read, and you're scrunched into a corner because the TV is paramount and the sectional is too big and your favorite chair is squashed in the corner, then that's not doing that. So then that's not feng shui, or just in common terminology, that's just uncomfortable for you and where you're at in your life. So just don't feel like since something landed there, that's where it needs to stay. take the time to think about it, move it around, enjoy this movement-based creativity, knock yourself out, and drag your stuff around with those little things that Anita told you to get. And yes. I think you're going to really be happier.
Mm-hmm. And also, it doesn't necessarily, can we just even get maybe off of furniture and talk about, lamps and mirrors and pictures and side tables and even smaller, just, vignettes and baskets and different things. Think about the smaller things in your home too that would need maybe a little freshening up, or maybe you'd find a better place to put it, that it would become a focal point and add to the beauty of your home. I'm always, because of course, my love for pillows. I'm always taking my downstairs pillows and thinking, oh, these would look really great on the bed for this season. Or taking the ones from upstairs and going, well, that would look great as a lumbar, with my other pillows on my sofa. So even think about just not furniture, but other things that you could rearrange that would feel fresh to you, that would give you, get your creativity flowing, that you would go, oh, this is a really great new look. And you wouldn't even have had to go shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate shop your house, really, right?
It is the ultimate shop your house. You are so right about that. And, we always say have a curated look like you've collected it on purpose over time for a special room. But that doesn't mean you can't grab that chair and think, well, I'll give you an example. Speaking of a chair, we had a chair that was, we got online that it was going to go up in our gable room that I had just refinished. This was about a year ago. We opened the box up. Bobby and I opened the box up in the foyer, and I thought, "Oh wow, Bobby, can't go upstairs. This looks so good in our living room." It was it's a stylized floral. It looks so different, but it really made the whole room come together in a way I would have never thought. So it never made it upstairs. Yeah. Right. So don't be afraid to try something new or see how that looks down in another room. And I think that's so important, because then I thought, okay, now I've done that. And that's what also inspired me to layer my rugs.
Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef, because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants.
Because I thought, wow, that would really look, that rug that I had is just not quite big enough to pull this chair in, but it would look great if I layered a rug. So I got a big sisal rug for that. Totally changed the look of my living room. And I'm really happy with it now.
Yeah, it kind of, the moving the furniture around reminds me of brainstorming. When you're brainstorming, you're going to come up with some bad ideas, but the whole idea is idea generation. And one bad idea might help you come up with a good idea. So I think some of this moving of furniture, it's probably likely if you do it a lot, you're going to end up with something that's bad, but hopefully it's going to create some great ideas while you're doing it. So, not everything has to be a home run. And the good news is, it's all reversible. If you don't like what you've done, just move things around. Well, I hope you've come away with some ideas on why you might want to move furniture around and you're inspired to try that in your house. So if you were inspired to do that, then we've done our job. Because remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.